Peace, infinite waters diving deep once again. 9 lies everybody believes to be true. We've all had that one moment. It's the truth. No, it isn't. How do we know? We grow that Pinocchio nose. Can I get a hello there? In becoming my greatest version, I've had a lot of reality checks. What happens when we get an awakening? It's not the truth. It's all BS. Belief systems. Because our mind can make anything believable. But until we question, we will always be led into the dungeons. Yes. So what was I telling myself along my early journey? What lies? One lie was, everybody is doing better off than me. I'm getting left behind. So what did I do? I would compare myself to other people. Are you so caught up in looking over to your right or looking over to your left? That was me along my early journey. How many of us go on Instagram and stalk people? Come on, admit it. You look at people smiling, all of these fabulous photos, and sometimes in the midst of that, we can lose our own authenticity. If we are trying to be like someone else, a poor imitation. Be original. I was staying with very wealthy people in Abercrombie a couple of weeks ago. And I had this idea in my mind that these people must be superhuman because they're so rich. When I was living with them, I realized they were just ordinary people. And they still had problems. They still had to go to the toilet. They still had to go to the kitchen. Their lives weren't better off than me. Yes, they may have had a lot of wealth, okay? They can do a lot of things with that. But at the same time, they are still living their life. I'm still living my life. I've got to focus on what I'm grateful for. They've got to focus on what they're grateful for. Okay? Number 2, life is suffering. How many of us tell ourselves this? Life is hard. It's painful. You've got to struggle. Well, that's what my parents told me, and their parents told them that too. So we see it's like the domino effect. What happened to me when I realized that I didn't have to live in this conveyor belt lifestyle of waking up, doing this, doing that, just doing what everybody else was doing? I said, no, life can be whatever I choose, whatever my intent is at that unique moment in time. When you say life is full of pain and suffering, that is what you attract. When you say I have the power to mold life into whatever I want to make it, now you tap into your greatness. Yes, pain is inevitable. Someone is going to step on your toe. Ouch. Can you please not do that? Suffering is always a choice. And the pain is just temporary anyway. Suffering is a mindset of not being able to let go because of belief system which is now paralyzing you, preventing you from stepping into radical action. So I freed myself of all of that and said, I am going to make life as fun as possible. That means skating, talking to you guys, and skinny dipping. Number 3, money is a right. What do I mean by that? Some people think because they have so much money, it gives them the right to go out with you. You are gonna date me because I have millions. I can go to this shop and stay half an hour after it closes because I have millions. I can do whatever I want because I have a lot of money and you don't. That's what I used to think, that it was all about the money. That material possessions made up who I was. Then guess what happened? I lost all of it. And building myself back up, I realized that yes, we live in a material world. So material possessions are important, but it doesn't make up who I am. I make up the material possessions. I bring life to them. So I have a good friend right now who is in San Diego, and she said something to me which still sticks with me today. Sticks with me till today. She said, when it's all said and done, when you're older, your car has been towed away, all that is going to be left is the memories you shared with the people who mattered the most to you in your life. The experiences. Not the things, but the experiences. So in becoming my greatest version, that's what I'm focusing on more and more every day, creating more meaningful relationships. Number 4, I want you to get married, to have children by a certain age. And if you don't do that, well, you're doing something wrong. I believed in that for a long time. Sometimes I would look down on certain people if they weren't married, if they didn't have children. A long time ago, because I was running a program that you had to do that by a certain age. But where did all of these ideas come from? Who implanted them into your mind? Because as we evolve in consciousness, none of us have to get married. None of us have to have children. But we have to do what resonates with our heart space. I feel it is wonderful to be in divine union. It is wonderful to have children. But don't feel guilty if you aren't doing those things. That is the number one secret to fruitful living. Number 5. More degrees, more success. Growing up, that's all I wanted to do. Just study, because I thought the more I studied, that was a guarantee I could live a successful life. And then I realized after studying, I couldn't get a job. I was stuck at home. Not only that, I was listening to The College Dropout, and one of the lyrics by Kanye West, this guy graduated at the top of my class. I went to Cheesecake, which is a restaurant, and he was a waiter there. And that was similar to the life I was living, so I could relate. So many of my friends were graduating, but it didn't mean anything. Some of them were, but they knew where they wanted to go. So studying is wonderful. It opens up doors, but if you don't go to university, you can still make it. If you don't have a degree, you can still live your dreams. That's what I've seen along my journey. Number 6, if you don't have a job, you are useless. I have been jobless many years ago, and every day I would wake up feeling totally useless. Because in society, we praise people that work in jobs, and anybody else, we just say, you're a bit useless. So I used to think in my mind that I was useless, but that was a great lie. How did I discover this? When I started to dive deep and think on a different plateau, I realized that I could create my own job. You see, how many of us are thinking on that wavelength to create your own job, to work with people, to collaborate with people, to develop your vision? That's where the magic lies. And then you realize that even if you don't have a job, just as long as you're following your passion, eventually that turns into your purpose. It turns into your job. It turns into your lifestyle. And what are you going to tell me? What can you say about that? Let's go to number 7. You are no good if you don't have the perfect body, the perfect shape, the perfect size. No, I don't want to know you. I had a program running that you needed the perfect body image. I had a program running that was the be-all and that was the end-all. How many of us go on diets just to try and fit into an image which probably doesn't even exist, because that person in a magazine has been digitally manipulated, Photoshop. Okay? So what helped me when I realized the truth is that you have to have a body shape and size that is truthful to you along your journey. Not to me, but to you. Do it for yourself. And the more you do it, you realize that none of us are supposed to look exactly the same. We're supposed to look how we envision ourselves in our minds at our highest level. That is the secret. Number 8. One of the biggest lies I used to tell myself was, there is a limit in what you could achieve. How many of us say, okay, I've done enough, let me stop now? There is no limit. That is the truth I am awakening to right now. This is infinite. Many of us, we stop ourselves short. We rest on our laurels. We put our tools away. Every single day I've got my tools out, because you never know when you might need to build. Sometimes you're building at night. You're building first thing in the morning. You're creating. It's non-stop, because every single day, the more you create, the more you practice your craft. This isn't a game. But the more you have fun with it, you realize it's not that serious. You can start to dance. But if you don't do anything, if you're waiting for the perfect moment, because you are living in your comfort zone, you are living in your prison walls, which is within your mind, then you get stopped in your tracks. It's just infinity. That is the truth. If you have a deep talent, if you've got it, my philosophy is do it every day. Why? Because now you become comfortable in what you're doing. Every day I'm writing, I'm doing consultations, I'm making videos. Why? Just practicing. That's all. Just practicing. Number 9. a lie I used to tell myself was, you have to have it all figured out. Enlightenment is knowing how much you don't know. That is the only reason why I can dive into so many different areas. Because in diving, you are exploring possibilities. If I was to say, nah, I know everything, which is what I used to say along my early journey, there was no discovery. Why? Because I didn't have the courage to set sail. When you embark on a voyage, we must now let go of the old. We must now embrace the new. We must now realize how much more there is to know. And that is how we develop bravery. In essence, that is how we become our greatest versions. So there you have it. Have a wonderful day. Stay the Pinocchio nose, guys. Watch, see if it's growing. If it is, get a reality check. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy.